Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do another unboxing. This is for the elusive White Stripes White Blood Cells ERC record. This is exactly how the record has come from ERC. It is unboxed. We're going to do a live unboxing of this. All right. And I'm also going to film this video. I'll do an unboxing. I'll give you my initial impression on the record itself, the quality of the record. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a mini shootout. I also have the new... This is the peppermint vinyl copy. This is an all analog copy as well, like ERC, but this was pressed at GZ. It's all analog. It was a limited indie exclusive they did just about a month or two ago. It has a nice tip-on jacket. It was actually quite a nice value for what you were getting. You know, it was a nice cardboard cover, and it was all analog. I haven't listened to any of these yet. And then I also have the most desirable version of the album. This is the tour exclusive. This originally was pressed by Rainbow, a plant that is no longer in existence anymore. But this is the most valuable, most desirable version of this record. Very hard to get. It was available only as a tour exclusive, so you had to get it while they were on tour at the merch booth. So this is how they are. I won't show you the number there. But this is directly from ERC. This is how it is shipped directly from them. It has been untouched. We're going to do it live and see exactly how it looks. They did 333 of these. It was expensive. In America, with shipping and the conversion, it was a shy under 600 bucks to get this thing shipped to your door. So we're not talking chump change. I was really critical over this. Just because, you know, and I mentioned it in the live stream I did with Michael Fremer and Chad Kassem. I'm more understanding of this company when it comes to really, really rare, out-of-print classical records. You know, $10,000 Leonard Cohen, or you have the option of getting a, you know, an ERC copy for 450 bucks at the time. All right. This is how they are shipping them now. So, actually pretty well packed. This is a lot better than, you know, they were originally packed. I gotta say, when I got the first couple of copies, they were moving around in the box, making all kinds of noise. This is a little better package. My Mel Waldron that I did an unboxing of that had issues was like this as well. You could see there, it's shrunk wrap, and it has the Electric Recording Company stamp on one of the pieces of cardboard. So, let's crack this open. I'm not a huge fan of this cardboard. I know it's just me being a little nitpicky, but when you spend 600 bucks on a record, I just don't know about a big brick of cardboard like that. But yeah, cardboard. Now it looks like they're packaging the records the same way. I'm not a huge fan of packaging a record of this price inside of the jacket, but let's see what kind of shape it's in. You can always tell the ERC records if they've been tampered or unopened, because I'm pretty sure they have these little sticker dots on there, and once you open them, you know, it's on tissue paper, so it tears right off. So they're easy to always tell if they've ever been opened, even if somebody's taken them out of that original packaging. Now, this is not my copy. I borrowed this from somebody. They asked me if I wanted to do an unboxing of it, and I told them, yeah, I've had such awful luck with ERC that I kind of wanted to give them even another chance. I'm not a huge fan of this, you know, this design by nature. You know, they're making a short run of records, specifically rare and desirable because they're rare. But just because I'm not a fan of it, it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm very critical of them if they're not delivering a perfect product. Okay, so let me There is a little sticker in here holding the record in as well. All right. Let's see what we got here. No seam splits. So my first reaction of this is one of the things I have liked about ERC, although they've never been able to deliver the goods as far as giving me a perfect jacket, I've never seen one yet, is, you know, that old school printing technique. So this kind of has, I know people are going to say I'm nitpicking again, but like, let's take a look here. So this is what is probably just a pretty somewhat standard cover. I mean, it's nice, but look at all the scratches. Can you see on the spot gloss? It's got big chunks of scratches on it. Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know if this is by design as well, but there's in all of the song titles are embossed, but I don't know if you could tell this. The embossing doesn't line up with the actual lettering. I'm not super familiar with this album. I don't know if that's normal, but you know what? Let me... I don't know about that. I don't know if maybe that's like a design thing. No, it's just the embossing doesn't line up. So, I mean, it's a... Let me pull the record out. I'll set that here. I mean, it's a heavy cardboard cover. You can see in there. But I mean, it's... You know, do you pay $575 for this? So yeah, I don't know if you could see this, but all the text clearly doesn't line up with the embossing. So, and then, you know, you've got just all the scratching on the spot gloss. That would kind of annoy me at this price. You also got like track lines. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but you know what? At $575, I just really think you have to be nitpicky. Yeah. Let's take a look at the record. Set that over there. This is the insert. I mean, this is really nicely done. I mean, so far this release, in all honesty, that cover does not strike me as anything that you don't get with a really, you know, a really nice, you know, record. You know, this doesn't have that spot gloss. This is a solid, you know, the jacket's clearly nicer than that, but I see records all day long now for 40, 50 bucks that have that quality of a cover. Okay, so here's the record itself. Comes in the Japanese style sleeve. I mean, perfect sleeve, kind of what you want to see. Record's nice, record's clean. I mean, the record looks good. There's a couple of like wisps over here. But I mean, this record is the cleanest looking ERC title I've opened to date. It's nice, it's flat. You know, a little dirty, it needs to be cleaned. But I'm going to have to give this a listen to. It almost looks like there's stitching over here on track 1. But that could just be, sometimes that's the effect of the music in the groove, but it almost looks like no fill. But let's give a listen and see how that looks. But I mean, this is a standard record, guys. $575. I look at this and this is kind of crazy. I mean, that's just a standard white printed label. I mean, that's all that is. This is an analog record, kind of like the copy you get at GZ. It's just a standard printed label. This isn't like the quality of even the other ERC titles, which have the more retro vinyl, you know, the more retro constructed label, the more retro constructed offset letterpress jacket. I mean, this is kind of a modern looking record. Yeah, I'm thinking this record has a lot of no-fill in it. We're going to have to listen to it and tell, because I don't, you're never going to see this on camera, but there's all kinds of stitching in here and here. And actually, if I look at this really good in the dead wax, it almost has like a holographic look on the dead wax. It's not really shiny. It has that almost holographic look. I don't know what causes that. Maybe it's when they polish the metal parts. A lot of European plants polish their parts before they press them to kind of de-hone the metalwork. But it's got a holographic look here on the B side, and it's got a nice shiny black look on the A side, which is interesting. But I mean, you know, this is the reason I don't buy these things, is my initial reaction is I'm looking at this record and we've got, I mean, this would be killer, man. If this was 50, 60 bucks, I'd be happy with this. Nice analog record. I mean, the jacket's nice. I wouldn't be thrilled about the scratching on it, but I mean, it's, you know, it's a nice jacket, kind of reminiscent. If you guys are metal collectors, you know, I would say some of the nicest vinyl, look-wise, nicest vinyl is like doom metal, just stuff that I personally don't like, but a lot of doom metal and a lot of sludge metal. You know, they do really elaborate, gorgeous covers, look very similar to this, probably without the scratching on the spot gloss, but it's kind of reminiscent of this. But man, for $575, I mean, let's just look, guys. I mean, I don't know if you could see this, but it's not only that. There's a cut in the jacket here, so there's a cut line where no doubt this was rolling on an assembly line. So we got a cut line in the back. We've got the embossing, doesn't match the actual lettering. It's shifted. And then we've got all the scratching on the cover. I mean, that's just, this should have never left the factory this way. I'm not trying to be hard on them, but it's just like I sit here and I'm filming this video, and the more I look at this, I'm just like, it's not my record. I didn't pay $575, man, but I'm getting a little bit stewed. And also just like the spine. I don't know if you could see this, but the way the cardboard is like bent over, you could see whitening in the spine. Actually, you know what? Oh man, that just... Somebody markered this record. They actually took a Sharpie to this record. Man, I look at this and I am so pissed. So somebody, you know, this was folded over, there was whitening on it, and I actually have a background in sports cards, and this was really common with black outer edge sports cards. You would marker the edge of the cards to eliminate the chipping. There is actually Sharpie marker on this and here, where there was probably such an extensive amount of white. Oh, and right here as well. They Sharpied. I mean, I'm going to take pictures of this. I'm going to bust out my cell phone and I'm going to take pictures. I was going to try to do it live on camera, but I don't have my cell phone with me. So far, we've got Sharpie marker here. We've got Sharpie marker here. And we've got Sharpie marker here. You could tell because it's, well, I mean, you're Sharpieing, Sharpie marker is a different color than the black used on this. That's clearly what this is. I mean, that's just an absolute disgrace. I don't even know what to say anymore with this company. That's a shame. To send somebody a Sharpie color covered marker, you know, a Sharpied marker cover, that's ridiculous. For $575, guys, you should be ashamed of yourself. I really tried going into this with an open mind. I'm telling you, I really tried doing this. Go into this with an open mind. But I look at this, the scratching, the printer lines. You guys literally took a Sharpie to the edge of this record to kind of cover up the white spots. So you Sharpied the cover up. I don't even listened to the record yet, but you know, I try really, really hard, guys, not to tell you guys what to spend your money on. Michael Fremer made a point of, you know, this is a company that's a small company and they're really trying to do their best. They're making a quality product and they're trying to do their best. You know what? If you Sharpie your jacket, when you Sharpie your jacket, to purposely deceive somebody, you're not doing your best. That's shady, and that's just disappointing. I'll post pictures of it here on the video, but I'm going to take a chill pill because I'm trying not to say too much of what I really think. This is me being mellow-mannered on it because this is disappointing. And it's not my record. Again, I'm not out one nickel on this. I didn't pay a dime for this, but I'm disappointing for the person who got this record. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the person buying this, if this is a flipper or whatever the case is, maybe that person doesn't care. They just are, you know, huge White Stripe fan and they want to own this. But, you know, that's disappointed. Let me go listen to these 3 records. I want to finish this review. I'll go take a chill pill. I'll listen to these 3 records. I'll come back and tell you guys what I think. All right, so I just got done listening to all 3 of these records, or parts of them, and I gotta say, ERC made a really poor choice in reissuing this as a title. And I'll tell you one of the reasons. I'm not a huge White Stripes fan, don't get me wrong. I'm not a White Stripes expert, but you got Jack White, excellent guitarist, and you got Meg, who is like an amateur drum player at absolute best, right? And there's nothing else there. It's Jack singing, Meg playing the drums. It's a very stripped down record. Her drum suffers severely from the ERC reissue. Running this record through the tube chain doesn't do the drum kit on this record any justice. It softens the drums to where, you know, just imagine when you're hitting a kick drum, you know, that thud, that chest thud you're supposed to feel at the end, you know, of the note, kind of mellows out, mushes out. It becomes soft with this. Guitars sound great. Jack's vocals sound great. The record is not cut nearly as hot as these other 2 pressings, but the bass suffers greatly on the ERC pressing. Tubes are really, really good for bringing out mid-range, bringing out vocals, string instruments, you know, acoustic instruments from guitar, horns. That's where tube instruments shine. This, on the other hand, was just, I think it was more detrimental to the sound than anything. Okay, so on the original, this had more of a crunch to it. This had more of that early 2000s CD sound. The vinyl was a lot noisier, being a, you know, early 2000s red vinyl. Had a lot better bass. You know, it sounded like a better drum kit. And don't get me wrong, none of these records does Meg sound like Keith Moon. You're not going to ever get that vibe. But as she's going through licks on the drums on the non-ERC pressings, the drum kit is much more defined. It has a better low-end response. It just does. I'm not a fan of this. This is not, if you're buying this record for just sound quality, you're not going to buy this. It's $1,000. It's a collectible. It's rare. It's desirable. But this kind of is okay. But, you know, in a way, it kind of suits the White Stripe sound, what they're going for, kind of that early 2000s stripped-down indie sound. It has that kind of crunchy, seedy sound, you know, so I can see a lot of people saying this is more than enough, and it probably is. But the winner here, man, was the 20th anniversary. This is on peppermint vinyl. It's noticeably more noisy, but it's really only at the intro. When you first put on side A, you can tell it's on peppermint vinyl, you know, colored vinyl. It's noisier. But the bass has a much better low-end sound. The record is cut hotter, which is more suitable for this type of music. ERC, great for classical. That whole vintage, all-valve cutting, I mean, that's great for classical. That's kind of what classical music was, you know, that's what this was recorded on. That kind of suits that type of music. But when it comes to this type of music, it's just essentially turned Meg's drum kit a little bit soft. That's overall on the sound quality. You know, I had somebody here with me while I was doing a shootout of this record, and he agreed. He was kind of perplexed on, you know, why this would cost so much more. And this is a guy who's an audiophile. He has higher end records in his collection, but you're not going to buy the ERC pressing and think to yourself, I mean, this is unfortunate. This is not the ultimate pressing of this record. It's actually, from what I'm listening to here, and again, I'm not a White Stripes fan. I'm not going to go buy every single White Stripe record known to man. You know, Jack White puts a lot of these out. But I think this is a good representation of an all-analog, recent reissue, you know, the original tour edition, right? And then the full-blown $575 ERC version that comes complete with scratches, Sharpie markered corners, offset embossing, scratches on the cover. The vinyl, it kind of looks like no fill on it, but it doesn't sound. So I will say that, you know, it looks kind of like it has that purling in the, you know, in the wax, but I didn't notice any, you know, it wasn't detrimental to the sound. I will say, this is by far and away the most disappointing ERC title I've had yet. And I can't reiterate this enough. This is the most disappointing ERC title because this is the 5th ERC title now that I've showed you guys. And people say I have an axe to grind, but come on, folks. I'm unboxing these records live in front of a camera. I'm not doctoring anything up. This is what I got out of the box. You guys saw it. This is unacceptable for $575. This is now, we're not just sending consumers records with all these little, you know, scratches and lines, and forget all that. Forget about the sound quality, but they went out of their way and Sharpied the corners of this record to hide defects in the jacket before they sent it to you. That is, I don't have words for it. I mean, it's despicable. To do that to consumers is despicable. And if any of you guys, I feel like this is something that a lot of you guys are going to notice. Because of the nature of this spine, the way the cardboard was folded, it kind of created a cracking look on the spine. Leave in the comments, guys. If you got this record, check that out. Look for that Sharpie corner. Leave in the comments. I'd be real curious if this is an issue that other people have experienced. I'm going to go back. I took photographs of this. I'm going to superpose those photographs on the video a little bit earlier. But that's just, it's deceptive. It's underhanded. It's deceptive to sell something of this price point. And let's be realistic. How much does this jacket cost to manufacture? You know what I mean? If you got a problem with this jacket, if it's not coming out nice and it's not coming out clean, you're charging damn near 600 bones for this record. Go back, make another jacket, and fix it. Bill Evans 64 and 65 was supposed to come out earlier this year. Bill Evans 64 came out. Bill Evans 65 didn't come out. Do you know why Bill Evans 65 didn't come out? Because there was an error with the jacket. I don't know what it was, but I've got it on a pretty good authority that there was an issue with the printing on Bill Evans 65. Blue Note didn't just force that onto us. Whatever the error was, I don't know what it was. It could have been, you know, a John Coltrane back on it. I'm not sure what the error was, but they delayed the release and they fixed the jacket. I'm assuming they're fixing the jacket, and that's what's going to come out. You do not put out subpar products like this. This is absolutely ridiculous, guys. I mean, I'm really trying my hardest not to go after these people, but after this is it. This is the utmost deceptive practice you can have. And in other collectible fields, this is a big deal. If you are a comic book collector, if you are a sports card collector, if you are a gaming card collector, this is considered altered. So if I have a rare sports card, a rare Magic card, a rare Pokemon card, a rare comic book, and I do this to the record or to that product, and you send it to one of these professional grading companies, it's marked as altered authentic. They don't give you a grade. So for those of you who don't know, a lot of cards, collectibles, comics, they're graded on a scale. Comics are graded on a scale of 100. Sports cards, gaming cards are graded on a scale of 1 to 10. You get a trading card that's been markered like this, they won't even give you a grade. It gets slabbed in a plastic case and it gets marked altered authentic, which means it's real. It's a real card, it's a real gaming card, but it's been altered and therefore we won't give it a grade. It's just low. I mean, it's low and there's no doubt in my mind. And actually, I was able to take amazing pictures of it too. So I have no doubt you won't clearly be able to see the defects in the jacket. I mean, it's just unacceptable. I just don't know why. I know I'm not the only person getting these defects. It's just not possible that little old Mike here in Phoenix, Arizona, just happens to be the only guy getting defect after defect after defect to the tune of 5. Like, what are the odds of that, guys? And I know so many people say, well, they take care of my defects and they take care of my defects. Well, what about this? Like, this isn't even a defect. Scratches are defects. Lines are defects. Marker and edges are malicious. It's deceptive. It's poor business. And I mean, that's it. These guys don't deserve your money. They really don't deserve your money. And I've never made that claim about any other company. When it comes to the lacquers and it comes to even this company before, I've always thought of it as like buyer beware. If you want to buy it and you got the money, spend the money. You know, it's your money. But this is flat out deceptive. This might be fraud. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. You know, I don't know what that falls under, doctoring up a jacket to hide defects. I guess that's probably not fraud. But to me, it's just, it's so malicious, guys. You know, I can keep talking about this again and again and again, but the more I start thinking about this, it's like I can feel my blood pressure rising. I can feel my blood starting to boil because it's wrong. You don't do business this way. Think about this, guys. I was to sell you whatever record, this Flies record, you know, and I told you this record was mint, but I took all these like corners here and I markered the corners up, you know, Sharpied them up and I sent them to you. I mean, you'd be pissed off, right? I mean, that's wrong. That's deceptive. It's poor business practices. I would never do that. I'd never Sharpie anything. I don't touch anything up. You know, these are, I really truly think of records as historical artifacts. These are American history. This is our culture. This is, I think, investment grade collectibles. I even if it's a $20 record or it's a $5,000 record. I mean, I look at these as like historical artifacts. I feel half of this stuff. Blue Note 1500 series records. I mean, these, you should be able to go to the Smithsonian and see an entire run of Blue Note 1500 series records. They're an American musical treasure. It's the original format that the artist got, that the people got in the day. I know it hasn't caught on. That's not really the way it is, but I really truly feel that records are on that trajectory. And to send somebody a Sharpied up jacket is a disgrace. Besides the fact, this really isn't the best sounding record. Get the peppermint vinyl for 40, but it's sold out. I don't know what it cost. When I had them, it was a limited one-shot deal. They were 40 bucks at the time, but you know, I don't know what they go for on the secondary market, but I bet you they're not $575. But if you want this record, if you're a White Stripes fan, you don't own this record, get this all analog peppermint, you know, peppermint pinwheel colored vinyl. I would imagine more than likely that the master that they used to make this, more than likely, they're probably just going to keep using that master. So if they do a more recent reissue, I'd have to check the dead wax information. But I would imagine whatever comes out after this is going to be that same analog master, which actually sounded the best to my ears. So yeah, guys, I'm curious of your comments. You know, leave them. Let me know what you think. If you had the same issue with this record, let me know. All right, guys, until next time.